Hello my friends, and welcome back to the reading of the Medium's book. We are at the second part of the first chapter, Do Spirits Exist? And now we have there's some assumptions to start. And the text goes as follows. If we admit the existence of the soul and its individuality after death, we must necessarily also admit, first, that it is of a nature different from that of the body, since when separated from the body, it enters upon a phase of existence distinct from the destiny of the body. Second, that the soul retains after death its individuality and self-consciousness, and the capacity of feeling happiness and unhappiness, as otherwise it would be an inert being, and its existence would be equivalent to non-existence. These points being admitted, it follows that the soul goes somewhere. But what becomes of it? And whither does it go? Where does it go, right? According to the ordinary belief, it goes to heaven or hell. But where is heaven and where is hell? People used formerly to say that heaven was up on high and hell down below. But what is up and what is down in the universe? Since we have learned that the earth is round and that through the movement of all the stellar bodies, what is up now will be down 12 hours hence. And this throughout the immeasurable extent of infinite space. It is true that by below we may likewise understand the deep places of the earth. But what has become of those deep places since geologists have begun to dig into the interior of the globe? What has become of those concentric spheres called the heaven of fire, the heaven of stars, etc., since we have found out that the earth is not the center of the universe and that our sun is only one of the countless myriads of suns which shine in space, and each of which is the center of a planetary system of its own. Where is now the earth's importance, lost as it is in this immensity? And by what unjustifiable privilege shall we assume that this imperceptible grain of sand, distinguished neither by its bulk, its position, nor any peculiarity of attribute, is the only sphere peopled by intelligent creatures? Reason refuses to admit such an inutility of infinitude, and common sense declares that all the other worlds of the universe must be inhabited, and that, being inhabited, they too must furnish their contingent to the realm of souls. But what, it may next be asked, becomes of the souls thus multiplied to infinity by the theory of the plurality of worlds, now that astronomy and geology have annihilated their ancient habitations? To this question we reply that the doctrine which formerly localized souls being opposed to the data of modern science, another and more logical doctrine assigns to them as their domain not a fixed and circumscribed localities, but universal space itself, which does seem to be one grand system, in the midst of which we live, which environs us unceasingly and touches us at every point. Is there anything inadmissible in such a theory, anything repugnant to our reason? Assuredly not. On the contrary, our reason tells us that It cannot be otherwise. But it may next be asked, what becomes of the doctrine of future rewards and punishments if we rob them from their special localities? In replying to this objection, we must pause to remark that incredulity in regard to those rewards and punishments is ordinarily provoked by the fact of their being presented under inadmissible conditions, and that if instead of such conditions we assume that souls carry their happiness or their misery in themselves, that their lot is always determined by their moral state, that the union of good and sympathetic souls is a source of felicity, and that according to their degree of purity is their power of penetrating and discerning things that are still dark to souls of lower degree, all difficulties disappear, and the grand idea of our continuous existence becomes comprehensible and acceptable. Let us assume still further that the degree of each soul's elevation depends on the efforts it makes for its own amelioration during a series of existences that serve as the means and tests of its progressive purification, that angels are only the souls of men who have attained to the highest degree of excellence, and that all can attain to that degree by effort and determination, that those who have attained to that degree are God's messengers. I'm so sorry. I have to drink some water. Just a second. Well, they are God messengers, charged to superintend the execution of His designs throughout the universe, and finding their happiness in these glorious missions. And we surely attribute to the idea of our future felicity and more useful I'm so sorry, and more attractive than that of a perpetual state of contemplation, which would be only a perpetual state of inutility. Let us assume yet that demons are no other than the souls of wicked men, not yet purified, but who have the power to purify themselves like the others. And it must surely be admitted that such a theory is more in conformity with the justice and goodness of God than the assumption that they were created for evil and predestined to a perpetuity of misery. Is there, we ask, in such a theory anything opposed to reason, anything, in a word, that the most rigorous logic or plain common sense can find any difficulty in admitting? The souls, then, that people space are what we call spirits, and spirits are nothing but the souls of men stripped of their envelope of gross terrestrial matter. If spirits were beings apart from ourselves, their existence would be merely hypothetical. But if we admit that souls exist, we must also admit that spirits are nothing else than souls. And if we admit that universal space is peopled by souls, we must equally admit that spirits are everywhere. We cannot deny the existence of spirits without denying the existence of souls. And this is it for today, my friends. I hope you have a great day. God bless you all. A big kiss. Bye-bye.